Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard podcast on this Sunday evening. And what I wanted to go over today was kind of went through the Steelers roster and gave each position um, in the season final grade. Just what I kind of think their grade should have been, for the season. Um, you know, the season ended kind of in a disappointing way. So grades are not really too good, but just something that Steelers have to they got to just get better in some positions. So let's kind of go over that right now. All righty here. All right, so we're gonna start off with the quarterbacks. So Justin Fields, I think he played the first 6 games. Then Russ took over from there. Um, Fields did show some improvement. He showed some improvement. Still, you know, I mean, the running aspect of his game is that's always been there. But the passing, he improved. He protected the ball, but he still has a long way to go to be a complete quarterback. That can pass the ball. That to me, that can actually win some big time games for you. Where on the other end, Russell, he started off pretty good. Got the team to 10-3. Then the wheels fell off, and part was him. Part was, I think, a major part was probably the offensive line. Their struggles really started happening by the end of the season when the competition ramped up, and then once that happened, Russ' limitations were really exposed. So it was kind of his fault and the offensive line. The defense just kind of fell apart also. So with the quarterbacks, I gave him a C plus. Gave him a C plus for the year. Like I say, they Fields did show some improvement, and at the end of the year, the wheels kind of fell off, for Russ. So I gave the quarterback play overall a C plus. Running backs, the Najee Harris or um, Warren are not special running backs. They are what they are. They're hard nosed runners, and the one thing about Najee, he's gonna get you all he has. He just don't have that burst. Warren kind of has the burst a little bit more, well, a lot more, but to me, he's not an every down back. Warren is the type guy you want to give him about 10 to 15 touches a game, and that's about his max. Anything over that, um, think he kind of wears down, and he will put that ball on the ground, and that's an issue. So I don't really expect Najee to be back next year. So you would think that Warren will be going in as the number one guy. I'm quite sure the Steelers is going to draft a running back fairly high, and until that rookie is ready to take over, Warren probably be the top running back. Definitely gonna share the load, but until the rookie is they feel like he's ready, Warren is probably gonna get a more extensive time to carry the ball this year, or next year. All right, so they're great. I gave the running backs a C. Again, offensive line kind of let them down again. Like I say, neither one are really special type backs. So that's what I felt like they played up. Tight ends. The tight ends, again, nothing really special. I think, Farmuse, he caught a lot of balls. He caught a lot of balls, but my thing with him is the lack of blocking. Just seemed like at this point in his career, I mean, he is what he is, but I don't know if it's that he just don't get the effort. I also wonder how I kind of question how strong he is. Because at the end of the year, it was a few times I seen smaller guys, safeties, corners, stop him inches from grabbing a first down. It always seems like in the crucial point of a game, he's either gonna have a drop pass or he's gonna fumble the ball. So I really think it's some improvement that he needs to do. I could see the Steelers probably drafting another tight end this year. Um, the Pruitt and me personally, Connor Hayward, them guys probably shouldn't be on the team next year for sure. Um, Washington, solid year for him. I mean, his blocking was solid. They actually got him in, into the offense as far as catching the ball. Um, caught the ball pretty well. Just they just didn't use him as much. Because when he do have that ball in his hand, he's a load to bring down. So and also I would think would help him a lot. Um, with a better offensive line coach, to get his blocking even better. Because I mean he's basically an extra lineman. I mean he's huge, and I think he's about 300 pounds. But no complaints. So with the tight ends, I gave them a C. I thought it was a fair year for them. Like I say, Fryermuth just I don't know. I want to see him play a little bit more physical. The offensive line. Well, injuries, um, young guys playing probably before they're really ready to play, and I'm just gonna keep it real. To me, bad coaching. Um, combine all that together, this offensive line really didn't play well. I mean, they had spurts, but you had basically two rookies out there, and I think by the end of the year they were pretty much drained. McCormick, honestly, Steelers probably didn't even want him to play this year, but because of the injuries, unfortunately, he had to get in there. Didn't play bad. He held his own, but uh, you could tell he was a fourth round pick and a guy coming from a smaller school, and it kind of showed. But gave him good experience going into next year. But overall, offensive line, I'm giving them a D. I didn't really think at the by the end of the year they were they were just terrible. And like I say, part of it is injuries, playing some young guys that probably had hit the wall, and I just think they have bad offensive line coaching. The defensive line. The defensive line needs to get younger. I mean, Cam, hey man, Cam can't. It's nothing nobody could say about Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward played a hell of a he played hella good this year. Especially for his age. Who's to say that he can do that again? Probably can't do that again. And Benton, he's basically playing out of position. That's why I think the Steelers need to get a true nose guard so Ben can move over to basically one of the defensive end positions. I think if he does that, he'll be much, much more effective. Um, by the end of the year, again, defensive line couldn't stop the run. And they also had some games. I know when they played the Giants, when they played the Cowboys, two teams that couldn't run the ball, ran it down their throat. And it just seemed like almost every team that had a problem of running the ball. It seemed like when they played the Steelers, they was able to run the ball. Um, you know how the playoff game ended. That was just a total embarrassment. So the defensive line, I gave them a D, and the only reason this is not an F is because I thought Cam Hayward played his heart out, and I couldn't just give them an F like that. But they did not play good, and I gave them a D. Linebackers, not really a great year, but I kind of put the defense. I mean, the edge guys with the linebackers. I really don't have no complaints. You know, I hear a lot of complaints about um, Patrick Queen, but people got to realize Patrick Queen is I mean, he's a physical player, but he's also he's not very big. And Queen needs to have that big defensive tackle in front of him chewing up blocks. So these linemen are not getting free and, getting up on him, because Queen has to be able to run from sideline to sideline, which I think he can do. And I think if the Steelers can get their defensive line fixed, I think Queen will be much, much better. As far as the air, I mean, by the end of the year, I thought TJ Watt was definitely hurt. So he didn't really finish the year that strong. But I thought he was very solid at the beginning of the year, sacks. And also, I thought he was really stopping the run on a Pro Bowl level. So we'll see. I know he mentioned that he's going to be willing to move around a little bit, which I think the Steelers going to have to do. You can't just leave him in that one spot and let teams scheme on double teaming him and triple teaming him to kind of get him out the game. Highsmith, he was pretty solid. I just still have some concerns about injuries. It seemed like he gets nicked up a lot, but when he was out there, he played pretty good. So the linebackers, I gave them a B, and um, that, like I say, that really came from the edge rushers, probably bumping that grade up. Oh, and then I also Peyton Wilson. I thought he played, for a rookie, made some plays, and I'm excited about him next year. He probably got to get in that weight room, get a little stronger. But the speed is there, so he just gotta kind of understand the game a little bit more, get stronger. But I gave that position to be cornerbacks. Man, so to me, Mr. Porter is not a shutdown corner. He's solid, but he's really not that guy where a team is going to game plan and say, "Hey, we can't even go Porter's way." Where I think right now they want to challenge him because he's grabby, so they want to go after him because they feel like at the minimum we're going to get some cheap yards off of penalties. So he needs to work on that. I like to see him get his hands on the ball a little more. I think he only had one interception. But I will give him credit. I felt like he improved his tackling. Saying he was a little bit more physical this year, so that that was a good thing. So he just got to put it all together and get himself going. On the other side, I thought Dante Jackson. I mean, I really can't complain. I mean, he ended up getting like 5 picks. He started the season off pretty hot, but by the end of the year, he had some nagging injuries, back injuries, and I just can't get that playoff game out my mind where he basically kind of tapped out, didn't want to make a tackle, and I think part of it is he probably was hurt. But I want to see the Steelers actually improve this position, and I want to see them go after a free agent here and also draft a guy. You got Corey Trice, but I really can't put no faith in. I mean, he didn't play bad when he had the opportunity, but I don't really put no faith in him because he's always hurt. So he has to find a way to get over that before I feel like I would judge him as far as is he a guy that you can count on. So I think it need to be some upgrades in this position this off season. So I gave those guys a C minus for the corners. Our safeties. Well, I'll just say this like everybody else been saying. Fitzpatrick was, I don't know, for $18 million, I didn't see it. I don't know what the is it the scheme? Is it him? I don't know, but for what he's being paid, he did not play up to that. I remember it had to be 2 years ago, maybe. That game, that was the first game against Cincinnati. Now that is how $18 million safety played. I think he got an interception, took it back to the house, made some good plays, during the game. Blocked the field goal that saved the Steelers from losing that game. I mean, he was all over the place. But this year, I think only one pick. It just seemed like he was out of position a lot. So I don't know what was really going on there, but something has to be done. I mean, if it's the scheme, they need to fix that, or if it's him, I don't know, but they got to figure that out. Dante Ellis, Elliott, I thought he might have been the Steelers' best pickup. I thought he was pretty much solid all year. I know he missed a game, and that game that he missed, it was his presence was really missed as far as stopping the run, help stopping the run. So no problem there. I can see him even playing better maybe next year, feeling a little bit more comfortable in the system. But with that said, I gave the safeties a C plus. But like I say, we need to get more out of Fitzpatrick. Special teams. This probably was the best part of the team, and that was led by Chris Boswell. Amazing year for him. The punter, wow. I mean, I'm surprised this guy was even available. I don't know what the Steelers going to do next year with him. With Johnson probably coming back, but I would definitely keep hold on to him as long as I could. Now, I don't know if he's a free agent or not. Maybe they could trade him for late 6th, 7th. I mean, I just hate to see him. They just let him go, and because I mean, he was pretty good. He was pretty solid. Like I say, just to pick up, the second week of the season. But with that said, the special teams, I actually gave them an A plus. Actually, I thought for the most part they were solid all year. I know by the end of the year, the kickoff team was kind of leaky. They had gave up some big runs, but other than that, I thought the special teams was solid. So I gave those guys a plus. Coaching. Um, I had an issue. I had an issue with Steelers coaching. Um, I think again, and I don't really want to get all into it, but at this point, we know Mike Tomlin issues, and sometimes you just have to look in the mirror, and I think that's something that Mike Tomlin need to do is look in the mirror, and you know, he got some questions he got to answer for himself. Terrell Austin, I know everything's kind of coming down on him, but like I say, I think Mike Tomlin has a lot to do with that defense. So it's kind of hard to really put the blame on him, but that defense needs to play better. So I mean, he has the title as offensive defensive coordinator, but we truly know who's really running that defense. But with that said, um, the defense was kind of poor, especially definitely at the end. Arthur Smith, not nothing really bad to say about him. I mean, the offense was solid. He was solid. His reports that he really wanted to keep Fields. So if that's the case, you're dealing with that, and you kind of had to have two different type of offense. One for Fields, one for Russ. Maybe the offense was kind of made for Russ, and then when Russ got hurt, then you had to jump the field. So that's kind of difficult to do. So one of the things you have to do is you have to try to whatever your system is, you got to try to get the same type quarterback. So the Steelers had an issue with that, but I think one of the things I want to see Arthur Smith probably get better at doing. And again, at least with the Steelers, it was probably hard because of just the situation he was dealing with. Um, I want to see him really work on getting receivers. I can't even say scheming them open, but making sure the game plan is to feed those guys, get those guys involved. Because I think that was a lot of Pickens' problem. Probably didn't really feel involved in the offense. You spreading the ball around, and you passing the ball to Pruitt and all them type guys. You just got to get whenever you got a big time receiver, you have to get that guy involved, and you got to get him involved early. And I think Arthur Smith kind of has an issue doing that. I mean, because even when he was in Tennessee, AJ Brown basically forced his way out of there. So coaching overall, I wasn't happy with it, and I gave the coaching a D plus because I think, like I say, by the end of the year, the Steelers were so predictable. Their offense was predictable. The defense couldn't stop nobody, and like I say, it's just some questions that need to be answered with them. And well, we'll see what happens, but that's kind of my that's kind of my grades for the end of the year. And like I say, we got the mock draft stuff coming up, and before you know it, it'll be draft time, and we'll see if the Steelers can get some more players in here to keep this thing moving forward, and see when they're gonna come to a decision as far as what they want to do with the quarterback position. So until then, we'll talk to you later, and